Stages of growth. The movement through these stages in our life is to progress on our life journey. Naturally, as we pass through each stage, there may be difficult periods of transition, where we have the opportunity to learn and mature at that stage in the process. I have worked with people to acknowledge and work through the all-important issues which each successive stage puts forward, so we can lead a clear, human, as well as energetic expression. I'm going to focus on the stages from our late teenage years to post-retirement, and I'd like to point out how the ages are estimates, given how our personality means that we vary in the ages relating to each stage. Now for the first stage, personal autonomy and exploring choices, which emerges between the ages of 18 to around about 26. In this stage, we've left childhood and are now free to explore based on independence from our family. We are developing an adult identity, separate from our parents and those in our childhood. We explore totally new relationships, which include romantic roles, professional roles, and develop new peer groups and a whole selection of new friends. However, we come and go as we explore taking on new roles and are open to what others around us reflect back, the good and the not so good. We are still young, and so there seems lots of time ahead to change our minds in terms of job, where we live, plans to enter a relationship or stay single, and which friends we want to have in our life, and also the sort of key values and our identity. We are defining ourselves as individuals for a foundation to our future life. The second stage is early adult transition between the ages of round about 27 to 31. From my clinical as well as personal experience, this is often a period of significant turmoil, of looking at who we are becoming and asking lots of questions about the journey we've explored so far, and so thereby what we want for the next stage of our future. We explore and often question many of the earlier choices we made, and uppermost in our mind is, did we make the right decisions? Time is passing, and we are aware of that in terms of making changes, or our decisions becoming fixed and thereby becoming permanent. For example, do we want to make our home, our career direction, or romantic relationship permanent? Will we or not settle down and have a family? And another big question, is time running out? The midlife crisis we read or hear about in our life is appearing in outline at this stage, as we rethink our earlier decisions in light of holding on to them or letting them go. Stage 3 naturally now focuses on making commitments and emerges during the age of around about 32 to 42. Interestingly, this is a period in our life of relative order and stability, where we put into place the life choices which we have made during our young adult transitional phase. We settle down into deeper commitments involving work, family, and our community. We reflect and focus on what we've accomplished in work, realizing we have become the person we aimed for, and feel a sense of achievement. By now, we've developed a clear sense of self and defined our identity at this point in our life, and then focus on the final dream of what we want to achieve in our life, and we invest a lot of energy to achieve that future dream. Now let's focus on stage 4, the all-powerful midlife transition between the ages of 42 to 48. As you may have read in the press, at this stage in our life we tend to question everything all over again. If we've not achieved our dreams, we explore why not. We are confident and open to ask if they were really the right dreams for us, and if we have achieved our dreams, we look at what values we might have neglected in their pursuit. Basically, was it really worth it after all? Either way, this is a time for many people where they are disillusioned with their life, and naturally feelings of resentment leading to making changes to create a realignment usually takes place, including recognitions and rebalancing of key issues such as immortality versus mortality. Whilst people often know intellectually and emotionally, they seem to feel immortal, whereas in midlife we realise that we've moved halfway through the years composing our life, and so we naturally want to make sure that we make the best of what remains. This requires our revising priorities and also re-examining our values, with one big, powerful focus on placing less emphasis on values we've already achieved and more emphasis on those that we may have neglected. Constructive versus destructive. Up until around about our midlife, most of us fool ourselves that our behaviour has been constructive, whilst we had to deal with other people's destructive behaviour. In midlife we become uncomfortable when we realise how we engaged in our own share of destructive as well as constructive behaviour. For many, naturally, such an insight is painful, but an essential element we have to embrace if we want to continue growing intellectually and energetically. Nurturing versus aggressive. Whether we focused on aggressive lifestyles or nurturing, looking after others, rather than ourselves, in midlife we often want to rebalance. Refusing to both acknowledge or even emotionally and mentally experience our midlife anxieties and questions, or, as for many people, to reverse and return to behaving like we did in our 20s, is the foundation for getting stuck at this all-important stage in our life. Getting stuck will definitely create problems for our progressing into the next stage of our future life. Now we focus on stage 5, which is basically about leaving a legacy, and emerges between the ages of 49 to 65. As I record this, at the age of nearing 60, I can assure you how this is one of the most productive of all life stages. Most people are usually at the peak of their matured abilities, and if the issues of midlife transition have been acknowledged and worked on, then in this period of our life we can make our greatest contribution to both our own life as well as the lives of others. Now we focus on what really matters to us, on supporting and developing younger people, focusing on our community. Essentially, we are aware of focusing on leaving a personal legacy that really makes things better for people, and on accomplishing values that our maturing and greater energetic or spiritual connection tell us have the most true meaning, overall scheme of life and living it. The final stage, 6, is energetic or spiritual. The final part of the play or film of our life, or the narrative in which the strands of the plot are drawn together and the matters are explained or resolved. Essentially, this is the stage of tidying things up, of completing the design of what we want to become, of finalizing our growth and assessing or fine-tuning the person we made of ourselves in this parallel life expression. This stage can go on for many years, and for some people they resolve earlier issues, whereas sadly for some people their cynical view of their life means that there is no resolution. We may move into this stage sooner or later, depending on how rapidly we've worked with earlier stages in our life, how open, if you like, we were to move beyond our narrow view of self. We are now engaging with the limitations of life, our self-expression in this life, and the fact that time is passing, and we are engaging with our own personal mortality. We can honestly and expansively look at the ultimate meaning of our life, and also the lives of others, in a larger, broader context. We wish to pass whatever wisdom we have gained in our journey on to others, and at the same time we expansively see and accept who people are in our life. Our sense of community continually expands as we prepare for the survival of our spirit, our unique energy expression beyond this mortal life. There is more beyond our human intellect, our physical life, and understanding the meaning in our life to surpass money, day-to-day recognition from roles we planned, to completion in helping others around us to reach such an understanding. Here, how life is never-ending learning by reaching plateaus and finding a new need for new challenges. There are many who receive high levels of material recognition and reward, but appear frozen, unhappy, and stagnated in a lower-level life. Others, who then went and reached a higher level of development, and without such material recognition. There is nothing wrong with material success and recognition as long as it is in balance and doesn't distract us from the more enduring realities and challenges of our own inner life.